The amount of times people have said that I only use iPhones, I am an iSheep, I am paid by Apple, like I wish all that was true. I wish Tim Cook, even though he's retired, personally paid me. Today you are getting an EDC with non-Apple stuff, no iPhone stuff. This is an EDC for you guys. So first, you saw the phone. It's not an iPhone, it's similar. It's an orange. We'll get to that in a second, but the packs, you can see I just got the new collection from Air. So if you go back in the channel for years, I've used Air SF products for literally 7, 8, close to a decade years. I've had them in my student backpack, stuff that is just literally more attainable. So they've come out with a new line here, their new travel line. They've got some in different materials. For example, this is just their Day 4 Sling, the Day 4 Sling Max in the Ultra edition. And what I've always loved about Air stuff, there's just no bullshit behind other products. It is unbranded or very minimal branding, usually in some sort of ballistic nylon. Materials that like actually last you the test of time. If you're paying this kind of money, you want something to last. As an example, this one is water resistant, tear resistant. It just survives everyday life. And what I really like, they have really cool interiors just made for all of your tech. So it has cool little pouches, little dividers that you need. And further on the inside, they've got main pouches for say like your camera. You've got slots for your smartphones, any extra little accessories that you want. So stuff isn't just jumbled up together. Super comfy to use. It's got this really cool, easy deployment system, which is easy to take your pack kind of on and off, almost magnetic, and it keeps everything super secure. The fact that these guys have been around long enough and a lot of other brands are kind of mimicking and copying their designs just prove how successful they've been. So I really recommended these packs on my end, whichever you want. The Sling 4, like I said, just a bit slimmer, or if you have extra gear, the Sling 4 Max makes it sound kind of like an iPhone, but kind of bringing on the phone that you may have thought is the iPhone. So this is the brand new OPPO X9 Ultra. I will say without a doubt, even though it's a similar color, bringing out my phone just to compare, I feel that orange was the smartphone color of the year. But I will say without a doubt, in my quick time kind of using this since launch, this has a better camera than an iPhone. This takes some of the best smartphone pictures. Every single tech reviewer kind of mimics that. This thing is absolutely next level. I'm actually heading to Formula One next weekend, depending on when you guys watch this, and this will be the only smartphone that I bring. So this thing not only takes really good stills, but also video as well, which typically people always say like iPhone video, once again, is kind of the best. What is coming out of these sensors is really good. So it has a 200 megapixel main, 200 megapixel 3x telephoto, 50 megapixel ultra wide, and a 50 megapixel 10x periscope. You can see the little quad lens setup on the back. Really, really impressive what OPPO is doing. I think this is really setting a new benchmark for smartphone photography, but I'll let you guys be the judge with some of the sample shots that I got, obviously some of the footage, and when I take this at F1, I will leave that on social for you guys to check out. But that is my non-iPhone device. And to also show off, I'm not completely just using an iPhone. I also just got this really cool Arc Pulse case for my S26 Ultra. If you don't know what Arc cases are, they make very minimal design cases for phones made out of the same material usually. So this is made out of aluminum. This one's in black, but you can also get it in a couple different colorways. And it just provides protection on the main parts, which is the corners. Still very minimal. You still get that premium feel of the actual device in your hands, but hopefully they make one for the OPPO. Obviously they make them for iPhone. Great little case, great little accessory, and I think if you have either of these, like in the Android space, you can't go wrong. So to the pair of earbuds that I've been using, both of course non-Apple, non-AirPods. So these ones are from Soundcore. These just came out actually as well. So these are the Liberty 5 Pro and the 5 Pro Max, and you can tell by the case design, slight difference between them. So for the Pros, the little display is just at the front of the case. So on the Pro Maxes, you can see the 1.78 inch AMOLED display, and that is fully customizable with your own unique wallpapers. You can control ANC, you can control tracks. You can see that I can swipe in every single direction. You can control everything from here. You don't even need to access your phone, which is great. But yeah, super cool feature. Maybe the simplest thing and the most useful. You can see the charging status, battery life of the headphones left on the charging case. So these actually feature the world's first compute in-memory AI audio chip. This is Anker's brand new chip, as you can see here. And with that AI chip, it analyzes what you're listening to, your listening preferences, and it can create your own custom EQ profile, which is kind of cool. Rightly so, it's called your own like signature sound. It also has AI sound enhancement, so sometimes through like Bluetooth, you lose audio quality. This can help recover around 65% of that, which is cool. And since this chip is inside, all those AI enhancements, something like voice commands, that's done song locally, so that's way quicker than asking like Siri or Google to skip to the next track or change your song. But I would say the best feature of these has to be the ability to cut down on background noise using the 10 microphones and AI.
And to show up how good the noise cancellation is through AI, we have this little demo set up where the phone is playing background noise. So imagine it's a really busy street. You can see the dB rating over on the Apple Watch as an example. And you can now hear, as an example, the call just through the headphones itself. It is completely cutting out the background noise completely. It also holds the world record, so the Guinness World Record, for having the clearest call with background noise active. Super, super cool. I've never seen anything this good.
The big difference between, say, the Pro and the Pro Max, that's mainly, you can see the screen on the front. The Pro Maxes also have AI note-taking, so if that's an extra feature that you want, they both have 6.5 hours of battery and 28-ish hours with the charging case. So yeah, definitely a solid pair of extra earbuds. Cool to see an AI chip in headphones now. So next, talking about what Apple will come out with next or copy. So this is the new Fitbit Air. I think there's been a lot of hype around this. Honestly, such a great addition to an EDC, especially if you're not a fan of smartwatches, if you like OG watches as an example. This is just a slimmer profile band, but what people forget, like the Xiaomi Mi Band has been out for, what, like a decade? Nike Fuel Band, that was like in rubber. Those all track that, but for whatever reason, so much hype on the Fitbit Air. This is like the Whoop killer, they call it, because there's no subscription. It's 100 USD, 129 like Canadian. It can track your basic metrics like steps, calorie consumption, heart rate, sleep, SpO2. That's all in the free membership. You can get the Google like premium health membership. You can track a couple extra things, but for free, for just paying for the hardware cost, I think that is such a great feature. I think Whoop bands have always been overrated. Like I personally would never pay $30 a month for a health membership. I'd rather put that into like a gym membership, actually like working out. Own personal opinion, but I think these are just great little basic health trackers. The cost has come down a lot. And like I said, for someone that doesn't want a smartwatch, which is kind of like my next little intro. So this was actually sent to me, and I know that my OG mechanical watch, my Omega, it's a lot of money. There's also that big hype going around with the new Swatch Pop watches that are going on. I have not lined up for one, but if you want something that is super slim profile, still like a mechanical watch, something that looks kind of cool. So this is from D1 Milano. This is their ultra thin watch. This is actually thinner than mine as an example. I think these guys make great affordable watches. I just need to get mine kind of resized because I've got a really tiny wrist, but super slim profile. I have it in the salmon dial, which I think looks good. Like I said, I'm not the biggest smartwatch fan. I always lean towards mechanical watches. And what I love about them, or if you're into watch collecting, they range in price. You can get something like super cheap, like cheapish. The Swatch Moon watches, Casios, you can get into like the PRX game, you know, a brand like this, which make good looking things, all the way up to precious metals, like if you're into APs, Rolexes, whatever is your jam. The journey of your watch game or your collection can be in every single price category. And just if you have a joy or love of watches, you can kind of appreciate that across the board, whether you've got something for $20 on your wrist all the way up to XXXX. However much you want to spend. Cool little wristwatch and very affordable. I'd take this over a Royal Pop if I could even get my hands on one any day. So next, as part of my EDC, always got to rock some Sony stuff. I never leave my house without my camera, and this is still small enough to fit in either of those packs. So this is the Sony a7CR. I've got my 40mm lens. Definitely going to take this to the race, carry this literally with me everywhere, just taking photos of stuff around my studio, of my kid. I just always want to have a camera on me. It records in S-Log. I think it's great for the size. It's got that two-tone profile. I do not need to talk about this more. The 40mm lens makes it nice and compact. Or if you want a pair of over-the-ear headphones, so Sony just released these. These are the 1000X, the collection series. So this is actually celebrating 10 years of the 1000X series. You can see the first ones came out in 2016, all the way up to the very end, which I got this cool little box from Sony. So what makes this unique, it's got some metal detailing around the sides to make it a bit more premium. They have the same, sound profile. They look similar to the 1000X Mark 6s. I'm not sure if they're replacing the name, like will this be the Mark 7s, or is this just like a limited drop celebrating 10 years. These sadly cost $650 USD, probably around like $800 Canadian, so they are not cheap. But if you want a premium pair of headphones, I've always said it, Sony makes some of the best noise canceling headphones. Like I would say the best pair of noise canceling over the ear headphones on the market. They're super comfy to wear. You just gotta pay more for them now, but they're premium and it's 10 years. Congrats, Sony. Next off on the EDC, I actually just picked these up new little unboxing knives. Don't think I'll bring these to the race, but I keep them in my EDC just because I open products all the time. So this is the Wesson little switchblade. It actually comes in these two little sizes. You can get them separately. So this little guy is the D2 and the S35 VN, finished in this black aluminum or like titanium. Really, really nice. I've always wanted a switchblade for my unboxings. I keep them mostly just around here, the studio. I keep it in my pocket. I'm always just opening up boxes. I'm sure you'll see both of these on the channel. Cool little pocket accessories. And lastly, for my little gaming fix, so I actually just picked this up in Shenzhen when I was out in China for $19. Picked this up in their little tech district. It's obviously an orange or see-through transparent orange, as that's my favorite color. This is the R36 emulator. You can play like hundreds of different games. You've got all the older generations on this. It's just smaller enough to fit in a day pack. Like carrying this around, say, versus a Switch just makes it a lot more pocketable. You can just keep this in here or even in your pocket, which for the Switch 2, you sadly cannot. That is pretty much wrapping up like my non-iPhone, non-Apple EDC. Let me know if there's any extra products that you want me to test out. I'll give you guys like my full thoughts on more of them as I use them more in depth. Maybe I'll include some F1 footage here, depending when this video goes up. But yeah, don't flame me anymore or say that I've been paid by Apple, because I wish that I was. Peace.